Hey guys, how's it going? I'm going to do a quick look at the new spring cleaning update and give my opinion and talk about some of the new things that are around. I won't talk about everything, especially some of the bug fixes because we'll be here forever. So hopefully this will be about half an hour or so. I've had a quick look at these and formed my own opinions, at least on some of the things. And I'm going to talk about. Let's have a look at the inventory changes. I think there's one thing, maybe a couple that was pretty useful. Oh yeah, this one. This is pretty good. So you can now do where you would alt click and you'd say, oh, my ult is, 20 seconds on cooldown. Get ready for that black hole. You can now do that with items. And, oh yeah, this one. Alt click. So, on items that, you can use gather for. So, here, arcane boots. Which is a bit annoying because sometimes you'd be like, mana, come for mana. Now you can just alt click. It's really useful. I think that's all that was good in this bit. This looks quite interesting. I don't really know what it's going to be. Maybe it's all a bit more grayed out, but it can be turned off. Not much else here. New design for settings interface. Hopefully that'll be better. Oh yeah, this was the other thing I thought was pretty cool. Tournament section under Watch tab now sorts leagues into Premier, Professional, Amateur leagues. Amateur leagues are also sorted by location, allowing you to find smaller tournaments in your area. That'd be really good, so you can, what's going on? Maybe there's some tournaments I can join next time in your area. Workshop. I'm sure that's good stuff for people wanting to create new things. And new treasure. I'm not really that interested in treasures. And there's all these bug fixes, which I'm going to scroll through. Right, Roshan base armor increased by 1. Maybe this will hinder level 1 Roshans, but you don't really see that very much anyway. What's this? This makes. Okay, Okay, I'm not really sure what that is. Melee illusions. So attack speed now always continually adjusts based on the latest modification applied to the unit. So I guess if someone quickly leveled up something, spell such as Untouchable, it's applied straight away. Melee illusions take extra damage. Just get some more time. Just do different things in the different modes. And me personally, I've got available ability draft, which is fair enough considering you could get, 5 of you and then all cast. Well, you could play some nether wards or just massive nukes. Abaddon, right, here we go. Let's move on to the heroes, the good stuff. Aghanim Scepter Borrowed Time now redirects 35% of all damage dealt to nearby allied heroes to Abaddon when active. This is in 900 range. So basically, when you go into Borrowed Time into your ulti, normally you absorb all the damage taken to you and use it as health. Now, allies who take damage around you, you take some of that damage and you get that as health. So I think that's really good. This is one of the biggest things I think in this patch, and it will definitely make support Abaddon even better, or even carry Abaddon actually. And Abaddon, I feel like one of the series that, he has played a bit, but this might make him play a lot more. Played as like maybe a, maybe the 4 role. So he still gets some farm. Ancient Apparition, Chilling Touch, attack speed reduction from -15 to -20. It's not a big deal really. It's not massive reduction, especially for the amount of damage you get out of it. And late game, this will be, won't make much of a difference for your carries. Anti-Mage, Mana Void's area of effect increased from 450 to 500. Wow, so even bigger now. So let's say you've whittled down someone's mana really low, especially if it's a big int hero, you can destroy the whole team if they're all like bunched up a little bit. Axe Counter Helix now uses pseudo-random chance. This reduces the chances that a very unlucky or lucky streak of procs occur. Right, so what I gather from this is, say you've been hit 8, 9, 10 times, you haven't spun yet, it's more and more likely that you will spin. So it's not like each independent hit is not totally random now. And the same as if you've already spun 2 or 3 times in 10 hits, you're less likely to spin. So make things a little bit more reliable. Batrider, Flaming Lasso, mana cost increased from 150 to 225. This means that it's quite a mana intensive spell. So you will just have to watch your mana pool a bit more as Batrider. I think there's a couple of other cases here where some ultis or spells on heroes with not the biggest mana pools have been increased, and I think this is. It sounds quite bad, but originally these were heroes which had to use Blink Dagger, which would cost mana, and now it doesn't. So I think this is kind of balancing that out. Beastmaster, base damage increased by 4. Yeah, not much there. Oh, this is another interesting one. Bloodseeker, Blood Rage cast point improved from 0.6 to 0.4, so you can cast it quicker, and Blood Rage can now longer be dispelled, such as Mantle BKB. Yeah, so let's say you'd cast it on, the Luna or whatever, she can just straight away use her Manta if she then wanted to cast ulti or something. So a little bit better now, and could mean Bloodseeker makes a comeback into pro games anyway. Bounty Hunter track cast range increased from. Okay, so now it's the same at all levels. Yeah, minor buff. Brewmaster, if you have not attacked for 10 seconds, your next attack will always activate a Drunken Brawler's crit hit. Okay, so it's kind of just more reliable. It's a bit like Bounty Hunter's Janada, I think. So you'll know that you're going to crit. It's not so random. And the same applies to Drunken Brawler. You'll definitely evade it, which is pretty cool. I think this was kind of complicated one. Bristleback Warpath no longer has unique values for the first movement speed attack. I'm gonna go over this one because I don't really know. I don't play Bristleback very much. Okay, Broodmother. Spiderling's poison sting damage per second increased from 4 to 8. That's twice. So that's a 100% increase. So I think maybe trying to see Broodmother back and get her into more pro games. Spinweb's free pathing no longer deactivates when enemy has vision of Broodmother. Okay, yeah. So I think they originally did give you free pathing, and then when they can see you, then they made it so when they can see you, it doesn't work. That has now has reversed back. You've always got free pathing even if they can see you, but it's now disabled for 3 seconds when she takes damage. So yeah, same as Blink Dagger. And Insatiable Hunger lifesteal increased from, it was 20% at all levels increase. So max level do 100% lifesteal, which is pretty crazy. So should be pretty strong in the late game. Well, just stronger all around actually. All levels. Centaur Warrior Hoofstomp mana costs increased from 8500, 150, and 130. So it's 130 at all levels, meaning at the early levels, especially when your mana pool is a lot lower. You might not be able to cast 2 Hoofstomps and an ulti or something like that. You just have to look at your mana cost, your mana a lot more carefully. I think this goes back to the whole Blink Dagger thing. So if you picked up an early Blink Dagger before the no mana cost for Blink Dagger, this is kind of the same. You're kind of in the same situation now. Chaos Knight Phantasm now has a 50% chance to create 1 extra illusion when cast. That's pretty cool. So basically, you might randomly occasionally get an extra unit under your control, which would be pretty handy. This adds to the whole chaos of things. Chen Penitence cooldown reduced from 14, so a minor buff there. Clink's Deathpack cooldown reduced from 45, and so the more you level into it, the lower it gets. So at level 16, I believe you can have it up at the whole time. I mean, that's going to be quite hard to do, but you have the possibility to do so. Right, here comes a nerf to Dazzle, which is a fairly minor, but I guess it's a good thing, really. I think it was a bit overpowered, but Poison Touch no longer causes a mini stun, i.e. cancelling channeling things. The stun still applies at level when you've maxed it after, when it's level 4, it still does the slow stun, but it no longer cancels TPs on touching, which I only recently found out. But it's pretty cool. Disruptor kinetic field cooldown, so you could probably use it. You're more likely to be able to use it twice in a team fight if you stay around that long. Doom no longer ignores magic shields. So this is a damage no longer ignores. Yeah, so basically it's a bit of a nerf really. So say you've got a pipe or flame guard or something, it has to go through that shield first. So you can probably save someone from taking quite a lot of damage from Doom if you have a pipe. Drow Ranger, Guts knockback duration increase from 0.2 to 0.5. That's quite a lot. Not sure it'll make a massive difference. I mean you can get away just a bit quicker, so you can get out of their range and start hitting them for more damage. Earth Spirit Stone Remnant recharge time reduced, slight buff. Probably not going to make a change to see whether he's played at all. Shaker, creeps no longer try to path around Fisher, they will wait for it to disappear. Alright, so this means you can't do the whole creep blocking and sort of like deny a whole wave of experience. They'll sort of just stand there. So what you could do before was go in the off lane, particularly for the dire side anyway, and just put your Fisher down. The creeps would go, oh, I can't, I'll try and go the long way round, go past the ancient creeps, and then you'll just deny them off to the ancient creeps. Echo Slam no longer ignores units are invisible in Fog of War, so a slight buff there. I think these are good changes. Elder Titan, Echo Stomp mana cost reduced, so 100 at all levels. Not gonna make a big deal. Got a bit more mana pool to work with when you've leveled it up. Echo Stomp physical and magic damage increased, so a slight buff to Elder Titan. I mean he's played a bit but not loads. Ember Spirit, here we go. These are good changes because Ember Spirit he's a bit OP at the moment, but that's only if you don't shut him down, which is the same as quite a lot of other heroes, but just because he's new, people are kind of more aware of it. So Searing Change duration reduced from 2233 to 1223, so it scales a bit more fairly probably, so it is quite a bit worse at level 1, and well, it's the same at level 4, but the damage is still the same. So a build that I like to go is you level it up Searing Chains last, but now that might not be quite so good. It might be better to have maybe 2 levels in it earlier on, so you get the extra second. And Sleight of Fist bonus damage reduced. That's fair enough. I guess sort of mid game this makes quite a big difference, because if you level it up at level 10ish or around there, so sort of mid game, you're now dealing 40 less damage, which is quite significant when you don't quite have the items yet. But later on, I think when you got double Battle Furies, Daedalus or whatever, this doesn't have such a big effect. So nerfs to Ember Spirit, but I'm sure he'll still be played a lot. Enchantress Untouchable slow duration increased from 3 to 4. Okay. Anyway, Midnight Pulse area effect increased from 400 to 600. This is pretty awesome. I'm not sure whether this affects his Aghanim Scepter ulti upgrade. We don't know. But this, yeah, so 50% increase. It's already quite big, so you could easily affect a whole team. So it might be worth, you kind of forget about it sometimes, it'd probably be worth actually throwing it down in a team fight. Faces Void base agility increased from 21 to 23. Okay, slight buff there. Turn rate improved from 0.5 to 1. He can turn quicker. Nothing crazy. He's already pretty strong if you get him to have farm. Okay, Gyro. Homing Missile now hits invisible units. That's handy. And I think I have to change one of the tooltips in the loading screens. Homing Missiles hits required to destroy. Okay, so the higher levels, they require more hits. 5 is a significant amount. I reckon you could possibly have a Gyro support, because now his homing missile is better. Did he recently get an Aghanim Scepter upgrade? I think he did, meaning his ulti is global. So he could be pretty strong, sort of like in the mid game ish, I guess. Who knows? Husker, Burning Spear is no longer unique attack modifier. Right, bit of a buff there. So, yeah, so you can get lifesteal and all that on your Burning Spears. Maybe, I was thinking a Skadi would be pretty cool. But maybe not, because he needs still, yeah, we'll see. Invoker Ghost Walk no longer affects magic immune enemies, kind of just a bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? No, it's a bit fairer, so things are the same across the board. EMP delay increased from 2.6 to 2.9, so that make landing your tornado EMPs a bit harder, which I think is fair enough, because no, it's not. It's played quite a lot, and it is very annoying, especially when the EMP does get you. Moving on, Jakiro, dual breath range increased by 50. This is pretty awesome. It always feels like you can it's quite a long cast time, so you can usually see when he's going to do it and move out the way. This will make it quite a lot harder to do so. Look at fire level 4 cooldown. It's minor. I mean, once you don't normally level it up that quickly, that early, and by the time you've leveled it up late game, it's probably not that big a deal. Guess it does slow. Maybe. Aghanim Scepter macro power duration increased from 7 to 14. This is pretty badass. That's massive. Like before, it would probably wear out during a team fight. This time is going to be there for the whole team fight. Aghanim Scepter macro power range also increased. Unupgraded is still the same. Yeah, this means you're going to hit more people. And I guess if you were pushing a tower, you could keep people back, or if you were defending a tower, keep them further back. So might be there's general pretty good buffs there, especially as Jakiro isn't played. Juggernaut base attack time improved from 1.6 to 1.5. Just can attack a bit quicker, so minor buff. This one's cool. Keeper of the Light added Aghanim Scepter upgrade provides permanent spirit form. That's already pretty awesome. Additionally, the following effects are active during the day. Keeper of the Light gains unobstructed vision and illuminate heals allies for 75% of the damage values. I was always wondering because you have Night Stalker, so the nighttime affects him, but then what about the Radiant side? There's no hero which has bonus during the daytime, and here we have one. So, unobstructed vision and illuminate heals allies. So you're just like a walking observer ward basically, and on a support it's pretty awesome. So people underestimate like the ability of vision, I think, especially newer players to Dota. And illuminate heals allies. Heals are always good. I mean, if there's a stage where Coddle has Aghanim Scepter, you're probably going to be winning the game anyway. But who knows, maybe he can farm pretty well. So maybe not. You might not see it in the pro scene, but in pubs it'll be pretty fun. Concur. Torrent, increased area, small buff. X marks the spot can now last twice as long on allied heroes. You don't really see many people use X marks the spot on allied heroes, so I don't really think there's much of a difference. Ghost Ship buff duration from 8 to 10, so another buff, because you don't really see Concur, but he's pretty powerful. Just landing his Ghost Ship is quite hard, but now you get an AoE indicator for allies. I assume normally you would just see a little X on the ground, grey X on the ground, which is really hard to see, so now I think it'll be a lot more obvious where the Ghost Ship is going to land, so you can coordinate with your allies a lot more. Where are we? About halfway through. Hope you're still with me. Legion Commander, overwhelming odds, bonus damage per hero. This is the AoE nuke, increased across all levels by a lot actually. So it's still the same per creeps though. So if heroes are grouped up, it's going to do a lot more damage, and the area is increased. Not by 15. It's not loads, but the damage is rescaled. So it's better at level 1, but worse at level 4. Which is fair enough with the damage increase per hero. It's probably fair enough. Moment of Courage now has pseudo random chance. This is like the axe, so it's more likely to do it if it hasn't happened, and less likely to do it if it has already happened. Leshrac, Lightning Storm now slows its targets by 75% for half a second. Minor, but still pretty good with chasing, and it does screw things over sometimes if you're you're about to try and set something up, but you suddenly get slowed. It just disjoints things. Oh yeah, Lich. This has to be one of the biggest changes. Frost armor can now be cast on buildings, so against pushing lineups or anyone pushing, it's going to become a lot harder, especially if it's a high level frost armor. Aghanim Scepter Chainfrost no longer has a bounce limit. If you've already got the Aghanim Scepter upgrade, I can't remember how many bounces it is, but it's quite a lot. So I think this would be awesome, really good, especially if Teamfight's going on for a long time. Yeah, I can see this happening. I really, really think this will happen. Maybe Lich will be played mid or something, so we can get a fairly early Aghanim Scepter. Lena, cast range increased even more. She's pretty crazy, harassing, be a really good support. And Laguna Blaze through magic immunity. This is also pretty awesome, but I'm still not sure if people tend to pick Lion over Lena. So, it'll be cool to see. Hex cooldown. Okay, so it's better at the later levels than what it was. So a slight buff there. Lone Druid's a bit better regeneration. Yep, fair enough. So it's just scales better instead of just sticking at 2 the whole time. Luna, base agility reduced. So earlier on, she's not going to be hitting quite as hard. Well, I say earlier on, the whole time, but I guess it affects you more when you don't have the items. Lycan Shapeshifter no longer provides bonus health. I think this is an acceptable nerf. Lycan can. He does feel like he snowballs pretty hard, and it's hard to stop when he gets there, especially if he hits 16. 300 bonus health is a lot. So fair enough. Magnus removes skewer maximum target limit. So originally, I don't know what it is. It's like 2, 3, 4 or something. 2, 3, 4, 5. But now you can just skewer as many heroes as you want, which is pretty good. So you do your blink RP skewer combo, you can make sure you get everyone into it, and skewer range is increased at the earlier levels, but it's the same at later levels. Yeah. So making it better at level 1, basically. Level 1, 2, and 3. Medusa. Split shot now works from percentage with 5 maximum targets. So originally it would be at level 1, it would always attack 5 targets. Well, if maximum of 5 targets with 50% damage reduction. Now it always has an 80% damage reduction, but hits less targets, so it's better early game. Which Medusa's not really playing it at all. So that's kind of handy. Mr. Snake no longer requires Fog of War Vision to bounce. They're kind of trying to unify everything, because there's a couple of other, like Paralyzing Cask now works if you don't have vision. Mana Shield damage absorption per mana increased. So slightly better as well at the earlier levels. Meepo base movement speed increased. Fine, whatever. Mirana Sacred Arrow Vision reduced. Minor nerf, but just not a big deal. I still think she'll get plenty of play. Larga Siren, mirror image illusion damage dealt reduced. Okay, so they just deal less damage. Illusions might have some effect, but normally it's just the radiance burn that is the pain in the ass. Riptide area effect reduced, and negative armor no longer goes with magic immunity. So just nerfs, because Naga is playing an awful lot as a support. So maybe I think they're trying to stop that happening, get some more heroes in play. Necrophos Stopper Aura increased, minor buff. Don't think it's going to make a big deal. I'm sure it'll get him some extra kills here and there. This is the interesting one. Reaper Scythe now has a 30% duration to the respawn timer. Especially late game, this will have a massive effect. Massive. It's a very big deal. I mean, there was I don't know whether it was recently, but his Aghanim Scepter means that you can't buy back. So, coupled with this, it's pretty. You can have maybe some interesting stuff of. Well, it's just you might want to target the enemy carry more. You might want to be more selective, especially if you're pushing. Yeah, it's pretty badass. Night Stalker, Darkness Node now also affects vision of buildings. So minor buff to him. Assassin Impale cooldown increased. I think this is quite a big deal. 2 seconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there's been plenty of situations where I've been playing Nyx and I don't know. It's been crucial I get the second Impale off, and at the time that I did, and 2 seconds will stop that possibility, but it can no longer be blocked by a Lincoln Sphere, especially I think that's fair enough considering it's not targetable at all anymore. Ogre Magi base armor increased by 1, making a bit more tanky. Cast animation increased. I mean, it was quite long, but I'm not sure it's going to make a big difference really. Yes, I remember this one. Purification area increased by 15, it's quite a lot. Repel no longer removes positive buffs from allies, including Guardian Angel. That is a big deal. Guardian Angel duration increased, so it's even better, and Aghanim Scepter duration increased to 10 at max level. 10 seconds people are invulnerable. This is huge. I really honestly think, I remember watching a stream, a game, and one of the casters was like, I think the hero of TI4 will be Omni Knight. Maybe it wouldn't surprise me if he'd had a sneak preview at this patch update. Maybe to think about that one. PA. So Stifling Dagger cooldown 8 to 6. This is annoying. PA is annoying at the best of times. And Blur Evasion increased at max level. 50% blur chance. You can see people maybe leveling up into this earlier on. Phoenix Icarus dive cast point. So it's not instant now. So I think this is fair enough because you could sort of instantly zip away. Now you can't instantly. I mean, it's not like a long time, but it does probably make a difference. Damage reduced at all levels, so especially earlier on, and costs more to do. So nerfs all around, but I think it's fair enough. Pugner's he was one of my favorite. It was my favorite hero. He's the one I played most, and I love this update. It's so good. Decrepify mana cost reduced from 100 to 60. That's a lot. Earlier on, like what you really want to do is you cast your Nether Blast and then Decrepify. But so many times I've cast my blast and then not had enough to do Decrepify to kill them or to make sure that it hits them because it slows. But now this will be a lot more possible. And Nether Ward duration increased by 5 seconds. Awesome. Nether Ward is one of the best spells ever. Queen of Pain, Shadow Strike cooldown reduced from... Okay, so it's basically all levels, the cooldown. So leveling it up early. A 4-second cooldown, it's basically continual slow and poison. Great for chasing. Shadow Strike cast range increased 35, it's not a big deal. Strength gain for Razor is increased. He is kind of tanky, and this will make him even more tanky. Razor's hardly played, so maybe this will make him play more. Unstable current, slow duration increased by a small amount. So buffs all around. Ricky, backstab now works when targeting allied units, helpful for denying. Shadow Demon. Added Aghanim Scepter upgrades. I always love these added Aghanim Scepter upgrades. Demonic Purge cooldown replaced with 2 charges that have 40-second replenish time. It's basically just, I think it kind of means you can cast it twice. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it might cost quite a lot of mana, but late game, it's be a big deal. Shadow Fiend, Requiem Soul, secondary debuff now affects magic immune units. Slight buff. Not sure it's going to have a huge difference. I guess it could actually, especially when people start picking up BKBs. Yeah, actually I quite like that. That's cool. Silencer, agility increased. I guess this could improve his carry potential. And Curse of Silent cooldown. Oh, Silence is just annoying to play against. Now he's going to be even more annoying. Skywrath, base movement increased. He's pretty speedy now. And concussive shot damage increased at all levels. So make him better. You don't really see Skywrath that much. This might make him play just a fair bit more. Sniper, fixed sniper's acquisition range not matching his maximum target range. I don't fully understand it, so I'm going to brush over that. Spirit Break, another strike range is the same at all levels, so that's a buff really. And the same with the Scepter, so it's the same. Spirit Break is not played at all in the pro scene for some strange reason, and his ulti is pretty strange as it is, so probably not big deal, just cooldown. So it scales, so higher at level 6 but shorter at level 16. Cool. So small buff. Sven, base damage increased by 6. This is good because he had an armor increase, a big armor increase recently, I think. So this might mean he comes back to the pro scene a bit more. TA, same cast point as the ability on the trap itself. Okay, they're both 0 now. That's not a big deal, but sometimes it did take. Yeah, I guess this means you can make the sonic trap explode sooner or with more accuracy. Alright, got some nerfs coming out to Terror Blade. I do like Terror Blade, so this upsets me a bit, but I think it was fair enough. Strength gain reduced. So yeah, less tanky. Reflection slow no longer persists through magic immunity, which I think is, well, that's fair. I don't really know why it was there in the first place, because it is a magical entity. And reflection duration rebalanced, so scales instead of 5 seconds. So 5 seconds, 60% slow is at level 1 is massive, but now it's only 2.5. Which is a lot fairer. But to be fair, at level 4 you get an extra half second. So yeah, so nerfs all round. Tidehunter, Anchor Smash damage reduction increased. So that's nice. That might see Tidehunter played a bit more, and Anchor Smash now works on ancient creeps. I don't really see Tidehunter farming up the ancient creeps, but what he could do is, once you've got a big stack, you could get your carry to farm them earlier on because they'll take less damage if you Anchor Smash them. Tinker Heat Seeking Missile no longer blocked by Ethereal, so it just means it's going to hit a bit harder. Craggy Exterior stun duration rescaled, so worse at level 1, better at level 4. Troll Warlord, Whirling Axe cast point, so it's an insta-cast now. Don't really see Troll Warlord play at all. Right, Tusk, Snowball ability. This was a bit complicated, but now it has 2-part ability. One where you create the snowball but you don't roll yet, and a sub-ability to launch the snowball. You have 4 seconds to use the sub-ability. And the area that automatically pulls in allies has been reduced, but once you've cast it, the first part of the ability to make the snowball, you can then get an ally into the snowball within a 400 range by clicking on them. So basically you snowball up, you're less likely to get your allies, but then you can click on allies in a 400 range, which is pretty big, to get them into the snowball, and this means that the snowball moves faster and it does extra damage for each additional hero in. So you kind of set things up a bit more. Before you would sort of just roll in and hope you grab some allies, but now you could use this for ganking a bit better. Undying, Soul Rip, area effect increased, and that's massive actually. Tombstone, Zombie, Max, so yeah, this is a buff at all levels. Pretty big. Tombstone's already annoying, but now it's even better. Zombies don't give gold or experience, but the bounty from the Tombstone has increased at all levels. I mean, it's not massive, so these two kind of cancel each other out. And Flesh Column now affects magic immune units. It's kind of strange. Throughout this patch has been sort of magic immunity, things that go through it and don't go through it has been changed quite a lot. So Furious Hype's no longer UAM, because this means you can get things like Scuddy would be pretty awesome. Things like that. Avenge Spirit, this is pretty cool. When she's killed, her killer is inflicted with a negative Vengeance Aura, and this is at the same level that she has, which decreases the damage of her killer and the nearby allies until she revives. Quite often Venge Spirits die because you swap, but this means the hero that killed her, especially if it's carry, which is quite likely, they have a, what is it, like 28% of max level. So basically you're reducing the attack of everyone around when she dies, which easily changes the tide of the battle of the team fight that's going on. Visage, Grave Chill cooldown, so it's better, earlier on. Oh wait, no, cooldown increase from 10. Okay, so it's worse at level 1 even. So that's, a slight nerf. It's probably not going to make a big deal. Not a big deal. Warlock, Shadow Word duration increase from 9 to 11. This is pretty cool. So heals are better, damage is better. Upheaval cooldown. No one really uses upheaval. Wind Ranger. Activating Wind Run now disjoints incoming attack projectiles. Before, if a projectile was coming in and you activated Wind Run, it would still hit you for the damage. But now, if it's flying through the air and you cast Wind Run, it won't do damage. Aghanim Scepter Focus Fire damage reduction decreased. So now at max level hit, you have no damage reduction. This could probably make her a better carry, I think. And no longer has special rules for procs. Okay, Witch Doctor Maledict cooldown. That's quite pretty big. You could almost cast that twice in a big team fight. Maybe, if it goes on for a long time. Death Ward, base attack time. Minor means you can do a little bit more damage. Wraith King. Alright, we're going to the end now. Mortal Strike, that's the crit, is slightly better at all levels. Is that? Yeah, that is it's crit. Base armor reduced by 1, so it is a little bit more squishy. This might have a fair bit of an effect, but not huge. It does do more damage, so more damage but weaker. And finally Zeus. I like this one as well. Arc Lightning cast point from 0.4 to 0.2, so you can cast it twice as quick now. Lightning Bolt, true sight range. So the bolt gives you less range of true sight, so invisible units, sentries, that sort of thing. Sentries and wards. Lightning Bolt, flying vision, so that's also reduced. So that's normal vision, observer ward vision. But it can now be cast on the ground, affecting the closest enemy hero in a 250 range. So you can cast into fog, if you're being juked or something. What else could you do it for? Scouting out wards. If you're not really sure where they are, you can kind of cast it somewhere randomly. Because before you'd only see the ward if you happened to cast it on a hero that was next to it. But now you can use it for scouting. Okay, that ends it for the heroes. Now let's move on to the items. I don't even know how this thing's been going on for. Like half an hour, 40 minutes. Ground courier respawn time reduced. Well, I guess couriers keep getting killed more and more. So I guess that's 40 seconds. That's fairly big, actually. Say someone had their bottle on it, they'll get it 40% sooner. 40 seconds sooner. Bloodstone. Blood Pact heal increased from 400 HP plus 30 HP per charge to 500 HP. Okay, so basically, I think this is where if you died, so I was reading the clarity one. That looks pretty cool. Basically, if you die, people around you get hit points, and they'll get 100% more. 100 hit points more. So slight buff. Clarity. Mana regeneration from 100 over 30 seconds to 135 over 40 seconds. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not quite as good as I first read it. It means you get more mana, but it takes you get 35 more mana, but it takes a bit longer to get it. Fair enough. That's pretty cool. Cyclone now deals 50 damage to enemies when they land. That's cool. Now you can cast Cyclone on yourself while you're magic immune. Okay, I didn't know that you couldn't, but I assume. I don't really get yours very much. 50 damage. Could you do anything with that? I guess if someone's running away and they were on very low health, you could kill them with it. But extra damage is cool. And style, mirror image now resets the current attack and spell targeting. Now resets the current attack and spell targeting. I'm not sure I understand what this means. But maybe if you're chasing after someone and use Manta Style, so you're following them, you're about to right click and you cast Manta Style, it will cancel that. Or at least your mirror images do not have the same task as that you have. Maybe. Munya. Chain lightning damage reduced 10. It's not a big deal. Static shock area effect is now centered around the unit with the static charge rather than around the attacker. Okay, so I guess originally when you have it on you, and let's say you're attacking someone who has it, the people who get hit by the little lightning procs were in an area around the attacker, but now they're around the person that has the static shock on them. I guess this means it's less likely to hit other enemy like, let's say you have it, it's less likely to hit other enemy units because you're going to be slightly further away. Maybe. Yeah. Fixed chain lightning not functioning properly when it procs while previous spot. Okay. It's not a big deal. Necro. Movement speed rescaled. So it's better earlier on, worse later. And XP. Wow, that's a lot. This is a big deal actually. 59 to 100, 150 and 200. So it's massively increased. I guess this will stop people just chucking necro units at towers. And I actually think this is a really cool thing. Because before, like with push lineups, it would be like, you got your prophets or whatever, they're pushing in and they'll just leave these necro units behind to do damage, and then they wouldn't feel too bad about leaving them if they got killed by an enemy hero or the tower, because you get the experience. But now you've got to be a lot more careful with them, which means pushing lineups won't be quite as strong. Observer and sentry wards. Sharing wards with allies now requires control key override. Okay, so if you want to share, you have to press the control key instead of just clicking on them like you would on the ground. I guess this stops accidentally clicking on the ground next to them if you misclick, because you have to use the control key. Yeah, that's good. Wards can no longer be placed in fountain areas. I never really imagined they could be. Pipe health regeneration reduced. Pipe now provides insight aura. What's 4 health regeneration? Okay, so Pipe's active buff is no longer dispellable. Okay, so I don't know if is that when it's activated? Is it now? So basically, is it an aura instead of just to the single hero that's carrying it with the extra 4 health? Or maybe that's just when it's activated. I'm not really sure. And it's no longer dispellable. Rod, cripple ability cooldown. Oh, this makes Rod even better. Rod is such an awesome item. The cast range on the slow is insane. I don't know what it is, but it's massive. This makes it even better. Rod is a severely underrated item. Scythe Hex unit's base move speed increased. Only affects Scythe of Ice, so not other Hex spells. So making it less good. But it's still not 100, 140. It's still damn slow, but it's less good. Shadow Arm Amulet. Fade no longer requires the target to remain stationary. So I assume that means you can continue moving while you're fading, and as soon as you've fully faded you have to stop. Will that happen automatically? I would hope so. Shadow Walk duration increased, so slight buff to Shadow Blade considering its cooldown was increased, which was a pretty big nerf. It's now slightly better. Added an option to require a halt command in order to cancel TV scroll. I like this. This is really this. I really like that. I think this is the best item one, apart from the Necro. Necro was pretty useful. Like the extra experience was a pretty big change, but this one, especially for newer players, not so much for more experienced players. But let's say you were TPing to a tower and you really wanted to quickly attack someone, you might accidentally click on them just before you've just finished teleporting. This will now require you pressing H or S or whatever you have for your halt or stop. So you're less likely to completely waste a town portal scroll by being a little impatient, which I've done many times. Right, so that's it. Thanks for watching and listening. I'm sorry if I didn't explain things as well as I could, but do let me know. This is my first one of these patch updates, but figured I should probably do one now on, doing more and more videos, and it helps me understand it, me explaining it to you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching.